Well, it's Dr. Heine. Welcome to the Math Bunker. Today we're going to draw an oval map for each domain and range and then graph each of them on the coordinate plane and then tell whether it passes the vertical line test to determine whether it's a function. This is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to draw two maps. So basically it look like two gigantic, I guess, cartoon eyes. Draw one and then draw another one right beside it, side by side. Then I want to label them. The first one is the domain. And the second one is the range. Then I'm going to put an X above my domain, a Y above my range. My domain is going to be my input, so on the bottom I'm going to write input. I-N and then put, all one word. And then my range is going to be the output. Next thing, I'm going to go to my domain and select the first number. The first number is -5. I'm going to put that in my map. Under domain, I'm going to write -5. Then I'm going to take the -5 and I'm going to put it in the f of x equals -2x minus 2. So when you have f of x equals -2x minus 2, I'm going to substitute -5 for x, and so -2 times -5 minus 2. Now when I do that, I'll multiply -2 times -5 to get positive 10, then subtract 2, and then my range, 10 take away 2 will be 8. So then I'll plug in an 8 for range. Now the relationship between the domain and range is -5. When you input -5, your output will be 8. So draw an arrow from -5 to 8. And the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to plot it on my graph. So I'm going to start at 0. 0 is the origin where the x-axis meets the f of x axis, which is the same thing as the y-axis. And so starting from the origin, I'll do the domain first. The x is -5, so I'll go back -5 units. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And the range is 8, so I'm going to go up 8 units. So -5, 8. I'm going to plot a point. When I'm done, I'll do the same thing for -3. I'll plug in -3 for my domain. Okay. Now you can also use a calculator. I'll do this right quick. I'm going to put the formula, the f of x equals -2x minus 2 in my calculator. So I'll type in negative, which is the button at the bottom, plug in a 2, open parentheses because the calculator reads parentheses as my x. And I'm going to insert a -3 again. I'm going to hit the negative button at bottom. I'm going to put a -3, close my parentheses, and then -2. Now it's on the right side, so I'm going to use the minus button, -2. So when I input the domain of -3, my output would be 4. So then I'll plug in a 4. Draw an arrow, go back to my origin, starting with -3. So I go back 3 units, -1, 2, 3, and then my range is 4, so the output is 4. I'll go up 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw another point. I'll then plug in 1 for my domain. Now, quick calculator trick. This formula is going to stay constant throughout the whole domain. So I got the formula in there previously at the previous question, but I need a 1 instead of a -3. And here's what I do. I use this arrow button, arrow up 2 times, till I highlight the previous question. I hit enter. Now, using the left side of the button, I'll scroll over to the negative first, and I'll get rid of it. To get rid of the negative, I just push the delete button. Now it's gone. To change the 3 into the 1, I'll just simply push in 1, scroll back over, hit enter. So when my input is a 1, my output would be a negative 4. So then I'll put in negative 4. On your map, draw an arrow from 1 to negative 4. Go back to the origin. When x is 1, y is negative 4. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can keep doing that for the last 2 numbers of the domain. I can arrow up, highlight the previous questions. Now I have to change the 1 to a 2, because the next number in the domain is a 2. So turn that into a 2. And it says negative 2 times 2 minus 2 is negative 6. So in my domain, when my domain is positive 2, my range will be negative 6. So I'll plug in negative 6. Go to the origin. X is positive 2, 1, 2. My y, my range, or my output is negative 6. I go down to negative 6. And then finally I'll plug in 3. And again, using the same trick, go back to the previous equation. I'll change the 2 simply to a 3. Hit enter. So when I input a 3, my output is a negative 8. And then I'll draw an arrow from 3 to negative 8. Starting at the origin, I go over 3 units, 3 positive units on the x-axis, and then negative 8 units on the y-axis. So that point will be located here. And then after I'm through with this, I'm going to perform the vertical, what's called the vertical line test. The vertical line test. I want to know, is this a function or a relation? If I perform the vertical line test and it passes, it's a function. If it does not, then it's just a relation. And then you simply take something straight like a pencil and you go from left to right vertically. And if that line, your vertical line, only hits one point at a time, it passes. So yes, it does. It passes the vertical line test, so we can say yes, yes, it is a function. And that is how to draw an oval map, graph the domain and range, and perform a vertical line test to see if it is a function. All right, thank you for joining me in the Math Bunker.